We all know that turnover within a company not only costs money to replace them, but what we actually developed it was called the ghost tracing method. So basically what it means is that when you have someone that leaves your company that's been there for a couple of years, even though you replace them, you've lost the potential of the person that should have stayed in the role. So as the new person's catching up in knowledge, the previous person in that position would also have gained knowledge, cementing on what they already had. So you lose that potential there and then. And if you think about your customers, whether you're producing a product or a service, consistent, reliable, knowledgeable staff are going to be at the top of their list of what they want. So if you're thinking as a small business owner and you want to grow and you want to perform, retaining a knowledgeable, high-functioning workforce is absolutely imperative, and it really will set you apart, because there's nothing worse. And even for myself as a small business owner, when I call other companies or I need a service, that my rep has changed or my person that I'm dealing with has changed every 5 minutes, and I have to start the whole story over again and have to rebuild that relationship. So that's what I would say is the most important thing with HR, is having those mechanisms in place. And what prevents people from leaving, it's honestly like having a path, paying well, and treating people with respect, but also having the policies and procedures laid out so they do know how to navigate within the company. And then just listening, honestly. I know it sounds really, really simple, but just getting to know your workforce. Don't just do exit interviews, do stay interviews. Find out what your workforce is feeling about the organization. And I know it sounds like a lot of work, but replacing highly qualified people that have a lot of experience within your organization is even more work.
So what I looked at was our turnover. We had a turnover issue. We also had an acquisition issue. And then we had a skills gap, a nationwide skills gap in the US for this particular role. It was welding. Baby boomers predicted to leave. So what would we do? So I produced a report of our current turnover, loss of revenue, attraction issues, compensation models, and I sort of bound it all together to show that actually if we changed how we trained and developed people, and then where we looked for talent and went earlier into the colleges, we could build a sustainable model. We had 2 certified trainers actually working, doing it as a side hustle, which we could have been paying them to train people within our facilities because we had the equipment and the expertise. No one had thought about doing it. So when I presented this, I got told, I was surprised an HR person came up with this. I was like, well, that's what we do is people. And this plan, which they used, is still in today, 10 years later.